Thank you for the follow, whoever just followed me. Hi. Anyways, we're playing Heavensward. Is that what it's called? Am I wrong? Heavensward. Heavensward. Anyways, that's what I'm up to. I completed A Realm Reborn off stream because I fell in love with it and I couldn't stop playing it and I was weak and could not wait till stream. I apologize. So I finished it off stream, but it's okay. We're back. We're back. I'm gonna try to play as much as the MSQ, as much of the MSQ on stream as possible. Hi. But yeah, I'm weak and I play off stream all the time and I apologize. Oh, another thing I played off stream was I played PvP off stream. That was an adventure. The first time I played PvP, we won. Not because of me. Not because of me. I got 0 kills. But the second time I played PvP, we lost. But I did get 1 kill, so that was impressive. But I'm really, really, really bad. So we're never going to play that on stream. But I will play it off stream to get XP. But you'll never, ever see me play that. Because that is embarrassing. We're not going to do that to ourselves. Anyways, we're at the Waking Sands to get another quest. The first quest for Heavensward. Oh my god. Not so much I fell for it. One little fight. Okay. Let me know if the music is too loud. Or not, because I raised it because I wanted to listen to it, but let me know if it's too loud. But howdy, how's work? Okay. Elowen, it pleases me to see you well. Thank you. Also, I got a Fantasia, or whatever it's called. And, I really want to use it, but I want it to be a Lala, but I'm debating if I want to be a Lala because I kind of like dressing up, and I don't know if it's going to be as fun to dress up a Lala as it is to dress up my character. So I don't know. I haven't decided. But I like the community that Lalas have. I feel like they have like such a tight little knit, cute community, and I want to be part of it. So I don't know. It is going. Just listen to my lovely coworker bitch about 15 different things before she left that actually don't matter. That's great. At least she's gone. Do excuse me for interrupting, Elowen. My lady, the gentleman of Ashgana exports have just left. True. Yeah, I don't know. I understand now why you didn't want to receive him. You did well, Tataru. Please inform the guards that we will not be receiving any further guests this evening. Thank you, my lady. What happened? Ever since we defeated Gaius von Balzar and destroyed his ultimate weapon, the eyes of the world have followed our every move, scarce remembering to blink. Where once we worked in secret with precious few friends and all too many enemies, we are now besieged by benefactors. Each one more eager than the last to offer us his complete support. A true embarrassment of riches. Of course, every promise... I've been a nasty girl. Oh my god. Of course, every promise of patronage comes with a price. Oh my god, I can't with this song. It's distracting me. Some make your intentions down from the start, while others endeavor to engage us more subtly. Subtly. Oh my god. Dress it how they will, the message is ever the same. We shall help you, but only if you help us. Absolutely not. We're busy. We are busy people. The gentleman Tataru spoke of was more brazen than most. In exchange for certain supplies, he would have us resolve a business dispute. Naturally, I refused him, as I have every merchant of his ilk. Alas, the syndicate overtures are not so easily rejected. When we formed the Science of Seventh Dawn, it was with the goal of serving Eorzea, not the interests of individuals and Eorzeans. Our neutrality is fundamental to our cause. In my heart, I know this has to be true, and yet, if accepting these offers of patronage would empower us to do greater good, might they not warrant greater consideration? Have been generous beyond measure, but we cannot expect them to. Forgive me, I did not mean to burden you so. What do you want from me, girl? Talking to yourself. Yet my urge to share this dilemma may not be wholly misguided. Might I impose upon you to consult the others? They are like to have their own opinions of this matter. Hi! How's work going? Is it here? Yes. She wants me to talk to all of them? Jesus, okay. All of them. So far, so good? Good. That's good news. I started to stream early because what the fuck else am I doing? Might take tomorrow off. Well, if you do, let me know. We can hang out. You worked too much this week. You did. You worked your ass off this week. And hi. Hi. How do you pronounce your name? Is it Bibble? I'm doing good though. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, you did work your ass off this week, so I totally get it. I would take tomorrow off too. If I was you. Fortune begets power, and power fortune. That we, especially you, have power is beyond doubt. The question is what to do with it. You may be interested to know that there is a growing belief amongst the refugees that Alamigo could be liberated, if only the Signs would commit their strength to the cause. Bruh. Yet theirs is one of many causes. We stand at a crossroads, Elwyn. Each path is paved with good intentions, but where they lead is far from clear. That's what's not an answer. Recall you our meeting with the Admiral shortly after the Leminsons sent word of the summoning of Titan. They mayhap you also recall my word to our host. I said to Merlwib that her people have broken their treaty with the Kobolds, and that the Beastmen have justly responded. That we have called to intervene in a conflict which she herself had invited. I spoke in short the truth. And wherefore did I speak it? Because owing no allegiance to Limsa, I felt no compulsion to allow the Limsans to distort the fact to fit a narrative which justified their actions and absolved them of guilt. Upon this subject, 6 shifts in a row, only 1 day off. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Minfilia can expect a similar reply. Our many dalliances with the city-states have already weakened our claim to neutrality, but the path she contemplates could see us relinquish it entirely. So she said, no, don't do it. Sunday. I don't want to listen to that. Okay. I've been receiving a lot of gifts lately, but Papalimo keeps making me send them back. It wouldn't be so bad, but some of them are really nice. I mean, very nearly abandoning your principles nice, you know? Yeah, self-care, Mars. Take care of yourself. Also, I want to play Rivals, and I need somebody to play it with me, so I'm not against you taking off and playing Rivals with me. Selfishly. None can deny we would benefit from more support, but it comes at the cost of our principles. Neutrality was ever a delicate matter. I've lost count of many times I've had to explain to people that our allegiances need not necessarily lie in the same place of our headquarters. Mind you, if we are to sell our services for Gil, we might as well declare our fealty to Ulda now and have done with it. You have been working a crap ton and like back to back to back, like crazy amount of work. But I'm just saying. Oh, he has a quest for me? Dungeon requirement, the Bowl of Embers. Okay, well, I don't have that yet. Okay. 'Tis the lot of powerful to attract the covetous of well as the needy. Thus doth prudence dictate that those with power offer aid with one hand whilst the other resteth. I don't understand what that means. I finally fixed my username to match everything else. Might be new here. That's a lot of shifts, right? It's a lot of shifts. It is a lot of shifts. Both of you, like, oh my god, everybody has been working so much. Cannot relate. I work a normal 9 to 5. But this month I've worked 7 days in a row with 1.5 days off, then 6 days in a row with 1.5 days off. Now I'm doing 4. I'm still kicking ass. I am. You guys all work your asses off though. I can't. I can't. Yeah, 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. should be fucking illegal. I'm sorry. That's horrible. That's horrible. I say we all just get sugar daddies and just like stop working. And all of you are overnighters. Oh my god, that's so true. You all 3 of you are overnighters. Sounds like a plan to me, right? Just all get sugar daddies. All stop working. You guys are all overnighters. I attract the overnighters. Probably because I don't have a fucking good schedule, and I also am overnight. Wasn't always like this, but okay. Doubt not that they shall return. I don't know what this guy, he talks badly, like bad, and I don't know what he's saying to me, so I'm gonna ignore him. All right. Speak with Alphanod. Alphanod. I don't like you, but hi. The situation is wholly unexpected. I too have given much thought to our organization's future, though it would seem I have reached a different conclusion. Mayhap it is time I made feelings known to the antecedent. Come along, Elwyn. Okay. Alphanod, Elwyn, is aught amiss? She could have just said, is something wrong? But it's fine. You desired counsel, and so you shall have it, Minfilia. The Scions of Seventh Dawn must leave Ul'dah. We must do what? She's like, what? We must do what? As long as we remain within Ul'dah territory, we may never be free to act with impunity. Moving our headquarters to Vesper Bay only delayed the inevitable. We have demonstrated our capabilities, and Syndicate have taken note. They will not suffer our organization to remain independent now. We are far too dangerous for that. Surely you realize that you are the reason Vesper Bay still lacks Aetheryte. They know full well how beneficial one could be to our cause, which is why it and other favors have been denied unless we cooperate. If Olda is no longer suitable, where would you have us go? Experience has taught us that the appearance of neutrality is as important as the reality. Accordingly, we must keep each of the great nations at arm's length and plant our banner in a place where all agree to be beyond their borders. Mordona. Oh my god. Isn't that where the Empire was? Relevance told to be precise. It lies within neutral territory and offers all the essential facilities you require. By the way of an additional benefit, it is also frequent by a veritable legion of adventurers who may serve to supplement our ranks. I, of course, conscious of the fact that we have developed a certain bond with Olda and her people over the years, I truly believe this is the best course of action. As you yourself observed, we have invaluable ties to the local community, forged through years of concerted effort. Olda is our home, Alphanod. To cast aside everything we have built and start anew in that desolate wasteland would be beyond reckless. The decision is yours to make, Intendant. I ask only that you recall the shared purpose which first moved us to found the Science of Seventh Dawn, and which moved you to found the Path of the 12, ere that. We aspire to an ideal, you and I, just as my grandfather did, that makes us more than comrades in arms. We're as much your family as... That will be all, Affinod. I'm sure you have familial affairs of your own to attend to. Your concern is most generous, but no, I have left them in the hands of men better suited to the task than I. I could not very well allow my personal affairs to come before the needs of the Order, after all. Where is his sister? She has yet to appear. The world was literally ending, and she has yet to appear. Okay. Leave Olda. Has it truly come to this? Hey, pray attend to Alphanod. He is engaged in some business or other and requires your assistance. Pray be on your way. Alphanod waits upon you, and I have much to think about. Oh, and tell him he shall have my answer in due time. Live without me. Okay. Confound it. She knows what must be done, and still she hesitates. All because of these fanciful rumors. I should explain. Minfilia's mother, well, adoptive mother, was among the great many who perished during the calamity. I don't know how to pronounce that, was her name, though you may know her better as the songstress of Olda. She was a performer of singular talent and much beloved by the people of Eorzea, not to mention a certain Charlian Mistral. As you imagine, the news of her passing was greeted with shock and disbelief by her adoring followers, many of whom refused to acknowledge what had happened, that her body was never found only to serve to encourage speculation. Minfilia, too, struggled at first to accept the truth, but as absence stretched from months into years, she saw that there could be no other explanation. All right, back to where I go. I'll try to stop by later if I can, but if not, I hope you'll have a great night or morning or whatever it is. I hope you have a good night at work. Until recently, at any rate. I could cry. My partner sees how strained I am and is pushing for me to take tomorrow off. I also think you should take tomorrow off. Everybody is pushing you to take tomorrow off. I agree with him. One of our informants, Father Illud, has sent word that a woman matching the songstress description has been seen of late at the seaside resort of Costa del Sol. If we could succeed in tracking her down, I have no doubt that any worries that now plague Minfilia's heart might be assuaged. I mean to set forth I mean to set forth for Laodicea at once. Let us reconvene there and inquire with Master Garaju as to the veracity of these rumors. No, but you've been working your ass off. You deserve a break. You'll deserve a break. Okay. You messaged them? Okay. You deserve a break. Oh, I've been here before. Oh, sweet sirens of the sands, my Makote Muse, why have you forsaken me? Titan's Bane, I mean Elowen, what brings you to my humble resort? You mean to tell me that the goddess made flesh who dwelt among us until very recently was a songstress of Olda? If I had known that, I would have chained her to my bedpost and never let her leave. Oh my god. Oh, for shame, to think that she now plies her trade for the riffraff off to the west, or wherever she said she was going. It's a tragedy, I say, a tragedy. West is it? Thank you, Master Guruju. Your information will serve us well. That said, there are a number of places she could be. I shall begin my search by the docks and see if any witnesses might have some knowledge to spare. I would be most appreciative if you could travel onto the wine port and do the same. Okay. Where is this quest? Sometimes up in the clouds. On the cloud. But they were different. Okay. Well, if it isn't Elowen, the savior of Wineport, to what do I owe the pleasure? Yes, we did receive a customer matching that description. She was a delight to behold, to give the woman her due, but her perfume was so ghastly, I had no choice but to eject her from the premises, interfering with the tastings, you understand? If she is your quarry, why not consult your blind associate? His olfactory perception is without peer. Given that I could smell the woman from a malm away, I dare say she could smell her from 10. He could smell her from 10. Do we want to? Hi, how are you? No, not to you. Okay. You want to know if I've seen a Mikote last by the name of, I don't know how to pronounce that. I wish. I haven't seen a last of any description for far too bloody long. Or excepting yourself, of course. I'm almost good. Why almost? Hope you're having fun, and I am. I am having fun. Just started Heavensward, so I was waiting for stream to actually like start it. I see you have had many great adventures since last we spoke, Elowen. You must share them with me sometime. A girl from a little while ago, one does not forget a perfume like that, so robust and intoxicating. Yet, familiar. I said as much as when we spoke. She complimented my powers of observation and asked me where she might find some of the flowers. Fighting a small food poisoning? Oh my god. But you're almost fully okay now. Thank God. That sucks. I'm so sorry. What food was it? So I told her to follow the road south into Raincatcher Gully and then head east after crossing the second bridge. The flowers which grow in the shade of the cliff, have the strongest scent, you see. If you make haste, you may find her there. Okay. All the way down here. Maybe mayo or fish? Oh, did you have like a sandwich? Like a mayonnaise fish sandwich or something? Kinda, yeah. Okay. That sucks. It's probably like the fish, most likely. I can't understand your accent. Not this. Oh no. Okay. For 5 minutes. It was good though. Oh my god. It was worth it. Not supposed to. Okay. There's flowers here. They're pretty flowers. Fine. Okay, maybe she's up here. Hello? Oh. I don't know. Oh, I see her. She's over here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Get away from me! Don't kill me, please. Me too! When does it come out? I want Solar Punk to come out. I don't give a fuck, cause I can be myself when I'm with anyone. I am ignorant, debt stranger. I did not realize my activities have aroused the Gaboo's ire until it was too late. Their oils can be used to make a perfume, you see, and I... Who are you? Whom do you serve? It appears you've already found our woman. Consider me impressed, my friend. It's so funny hearing you speak like this. The songstress of Olda, I presume. Minfilia, or should I say Asilia, is looking for you. Asilia! You are the very picture of health, milady. Yet the world thinks you're dead. I only conclude that this was by design. The question is why? Not everyone who endeavors to find me, doing so with the best intentions, child. You'll be pleased to know that I am fully intent to reveal myself to Minfilia when the time is right. Oh, well, that does please me. More than you know. But tell me, sojourns in the forests of Laodicea aside, when exactly will the time be right? When I deem it so. Oh, thank you for the follow. Do I imagine? Oh, absolutely not. I traveled all this way on a whim. As I was telling your associate prior to your intrusion, I came here to harvest these flowers to use in a perfume. Does that satisfy your curiosity, or would you interrogate me further? Oh, she's rude as fuck! My apologies for the interruption. Anyway, now what we have all that we came for, Might we continue this conversation in a safer locale? Wineport, say? She's rude as fuck. I love how somebody obviously heard me go and was like, I'm gonna follow. Where am I supposed to go? They're right here. Okay, that was 5 minutes. I'm thirsty now. Okay. This is not at all how I had envisioned it. I can scarce begin to imagine what emotions will go through Minfilia's heart when she reunites with her mother after all these years. One thing at one. Okay. You say my daughter awaits us in Vesper Bay, yes? I have kept her waiting long enough. Let us be off on the next ferry. I can finish fashioning the perfume along the way. You seem cool and a wonderful time awaits you in Final Fantasy XIV. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm very excited. I've been enjoying Final Fantasy so much. Understood. Come with me. It would be my pleasure to escort you to the Waking Sands. Oh, nice. I didn't even have to teleport here. I did just beat ARR. Yeah. Literally just beat it off stream because I was very obsessed the other day and I played for like 10 hours straight and I finished it off stream. But it was really, really good. Really, really good. That's what everybody tells me, that it gets better. So I'm excited. And to send it, you have a guest. Your mother. Your mother is here. Look at her. Even though she looks so young, does not look like your mother at all. I feel like you just got punked. Why? Hope you're enjoying. Thank you. I just started it. Why do you feel like you just got punked? Was it a phone call? Asilia. Another. Oh my god. The other day, I found. Oh, thank you for the follow. I found Eorzea Collection, like the website. And I've been obsessed ever since, just scrolling through it, looking at glams and saving them for later. And I have been obsessed. And now I cannot wait. The dress that I have on is somebody gave it to me, but I am so excited to get into glamming more. But I feel like I have to get further into the game because a lot of things are like further on. You be VTuber, I'm obligated to stay forever. Welcome to the hive. You are stuck here now. I haven't seen her like this in years, Elowen. Welcome. Oh my god, that's... Thank you for the follow. Good, that's good. Yeah. Borrow more glam. I know. I will. This is the path of Final Fantasy player. I know. I have been obsessed with like looking at glam recently. It's been so like it's so good. Took a call. It was 15 minutes and the person's connection was so bad that I heard parts of every word thinking this person was at high risk, like high risk. Turns out the person was fixed halfway through and he's preaching to me Bible quotes and praying that I make it to heaven. That's so strange. That's so strange. Oh my god. Most glam pieces like from this are from the store crafted or later dungeons. If there's any crafted pieces you want, I don't mind crafting them. I got nothing to do. Ooh, I do. I don't know if there's any pieces that I need crafted yet because I haven't really looked at where to get the pieces. But I've been looking at glams. From what I've seen, a lot of them are from later dungeons, the ones that I like, unfortunately. But I'm excited to get into it. The Imperials came for me, as I always knew they would, and so I resolved to stay as far away from you as I could, lest their pursuit of me endanger you and our cause. I could think of no better way to grant you the freedom to continue our work. And continue it you did, achieving things I would not have imagined possible. I followed your every success and celebrated in secret. I am so proud of you, Asilia. Aww. That's so sad. Why is my VTuber looking angry? I learned from the best. I have a gift for you. What is the gift? Celestia perfume. You remembered. How could I ever forget? You wore it all the time. Oh, she was making perfume for her. That's so cute. You wore it all the time. If I ever lost sight of you, I could find you again just by my nose. I did not think it was made anymore. You must have gone to so much trouble. Nothing to do, aka just procrastinating on everything I probably should be doing and would rather be an Omnicrafter in Omnicrafter hell. Oh my god. Are you completely caught up on the story? It was no trouble to me, my darling. I fear I cannot say the same for Elwyn, however. I could not have made it without her. Not me! Little old me! Thank you, Elwyn. Thank you both. There's something else. This is the cat's eye I found. All these years you kept it. Cat's eye? Oh, like the stone? My father was a member of the Alamegan resistance. This song is depressing. We're changing that. When I was yet a child, he brought me here to Olda. The accident which claimed his life happened shortly after our arrival. Who took care of me then? She raised me as her own, taught me everything I need to know how to survive. I am no stranger to the facts of your history, yet I fear I have failed to grasp their implications. It is clear that there is much I do not know about you and your mother both. One of her first lessons to me concerned mining, and I was a very dedicated student. The cat's eye was the first stone I unearthed. It wasn't much, of course, but I had exceedingly proud to have found it nonetheless. If you're wondering what happened, you can watch the 1.0 cutscene. What, to her dad? She said it was beautiful, but I am at a loss. Why are you returning this to me? Is something amiss? No, Celia, nothing is amiss. Quite the opposite. I need you to realize how far you've come and how much further you must still go. You and your allies have accomplished more than I could have ever hoped. You have succeeded where I failed and made me so proud that words fail me. And even as I marvel at the woman you've become, at all the many things that you've done, I cannot help but think of that which you have yet to do, and of what it may entail. Asilia, daughter, you cannot stay here anymore. You and the Scions must leave Olda. What? Oh, it shows the accident? Oh, okay. I'll watch it. He's telling her to leave too. You built it once, Cecilia. You can build it again. And this time we'll do it together. Truly? Afanod, the time has come for the Scions to leave Vesper Bay. That's all it took? You didn't want to listen to anybody else? We shall establish a new headquarters in Revenant's Toll as you proposed. Here we are now. Entertain us. Much work lies ahead of us. Inform our fellow Scions and send word to the students of Baldezian. I can't pronounce that. Preparations begin at once. Okay. Maybe this one. I don't ever know which one to take. It is all well and good that we have found ourselves a new home in Revenant's Toll, but there is so much to be done and in so little time. Our first step will be to secure the cooperation of the Adventurers Guild representatives there. Were it not for the Guild's considerable efforts, the original Camp Revenant's Toll would have never been established, much less its more heavily fortified successor. However, the construction is still ongoing and resources in short supply. It seems certain that the Guild will require something in return for their support, sympathetic to our cause though it may be. Did you get your Fantasia? I did! And I've been going back and forth on whether I want to be a Lala or not. Whatever they ask, I shall not begrudge it. To be plain, we need them more than they need us. Without their assistance, such essential tasks as securing new facilities, cultivating relationships with local merchants, and recruiting adventurers would prove difficult, if not possible. You need not concern yourself with much matters, and to send it. But yeah, I did get it. A Lala. Yeah. I was debating. Well, okay. It's either I do that or I go bunny girl, but I feel like bunny girl is so tall and I feel like that's just not me. But I also think that the bunny is hot. So I'm like, ooh, that's hot. But like, do I want to go super sexy or do I want to look cute? That is the question of a lifetime. Indirectly, perhaps, I submit that you might instead concern yourself with a different matter, namely to whom the resolution of such matters might best be entrusted. And here I am, nor do I come alone. May I present the esteemed missionary of the Adventurers Guild at Revenant's Toll. Nice! It is an honor, Intendant. Upon receiving word of your intentions from Master Afanad, we thought it would be best to begin talks at the earliest available opportunity. The question is, do you want to be Dami Mommy or menace to society? I know, going Lala sexy is gone. I don't know. Yeah, you can't be a sexy Lala. That's weird. It's a little weird. But I don't know. I don't know. I also feel like glamour would be a lot more fun not being a Lala. Like, I feel like as a Lala, glamour's not fun. Glamour's not as fun. I don't know. Maybe it is. Bunny girls can be hot and cute, right? Right? So then I'm like, maybe I should be a bunny girl. Know that my associates at Revenant's Toll hold the signs of Seventh Dawn in the highest regard. We should be honored to welcome your organization. There are of course certain provisions that must be negotiated. If it please you, I would do so. Yeah, be careful of restrictions for glamour. I tried to be an Ellison and it didn't work out because my glamour is 99% made for aura. I think I have to look. Like, I'm just gonna like keep scrolling on Eorzea collection and see like what I like the most when it comes to glamour. As someone who's done both Lala and Bun, both are very fun. It just depends on the type of glam you want to do. Yeah, I don't know. since I'm not like, I haven't gotten into glam too much, I'm like, I don't know what I want to do, but I do think I want to switch from Catgirl. I don't know. Unless I am much mistaken, you are the one known as Elwyn, are you not? May I say what a pleasure it is to make your acquaintance? Slaffborn spoke of you in the most glowing terms. To steal an Imperial Reaper and then use it to infiltrate a Garlean castrum is an undertaking few would contemplate, and fewer will still survive. What server was this again? I'm on Aether Midgar. I can say there might not be sexy Lalas, but as a Lala myself, most are either cute or funny. Cough, cough. That's what I'm like. Maybe I would love to just be like a funny, cute little Lala running around. And I feel like that would be fun. I don't know. And you running around as a chicken 99% of the time is the funniest thing ever. Literally the funniest thing ever. I don't know. I'm also not like I don't make like sexy characters per se. I was thinking more just like cool. Like I'm not into like the whole sexy thing. As you can see, my VTuber isn't like a sexy, super hot VTuber. Like I'm just not that type of person. So, oh my God, this music is killing me. I have frog, squirrel, chicken, and I've somehow become my FC's tiny mascot. That's so cute. It's so cute. You shall always be welcome at Revenant's Toll. We hope you will favor us with your presence again ere long. I do even the pig outfit. Oh my God. I want to see you as a pig. That's cute. Iconic. That's cute. It would seem your reputation precedes you, Elwyn. Mayhap I should dispatch you to Revenant's Toll with all haste, as first intended. But before that, I dare say you have earned yourself a rest. After all, you have traveled so far, and there is already so much you have done for us and for me. I'll be on later. I'll have to make sure they're set, and I'll show you. Yes! Show me. I want to see. I think my only issue with buns is how tall they are, but that's just a me issue. Me too. That is my biggest problem. So like, okay, in real life, I'm 4'11", okay? I'm really, really short. So I wanted my character to be really, really short also, to be like me. So I feel like if I am a bun, it won't represent me as much. I even had a headpiece of just leaves. What? Just leaves. Tall and no butt, all legs. My guildmaster said. That is true. They have no butt. I don't think anybody in this game has a butt. But they are super tall. And even the shortest option is still really tall. Which I don't like. So I don't know. Twitch keeps lagging. I'm gonna eat this site. Oh my God. Fuck Twitch. You suck. We will speak again, Annan. Oh, till then, take care. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I've been back and forth. Supposedly you get 2 free Fantasias throughout the story. So I was like, okay, well, if I switch to Lala and I don't like it eventually, then I can switch back or switch to something else later on. Elwyn, were you able to get some rest? I would ask you to come with me to the solar. Afanod has just returned, and it would seem there is something he would share with us. Yeah, supposedly there's 2. I read that there's 2. There's one that you get from this other quest, and then there's one that you get at the end of ARR. I think there's 2 as of Patch and Dawn Trail. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's 2. Thank you for the follow. There are some areas where only Lalas can access because of the height. Really? I just want to be cute and little. So I think I might do it. Bzz. Bzz, bzz, bzz. I think I might do it. I think I might be cute and little. I think I might do it. I think next stream, I'm going to be cute and little. Cute and little. The negotiations are concluded. And our friends at the Adventurers Guild have agreed to furnish us with new facilities and material support in exchange for our assistance in the ongoing defense and development of Renovance Toll. I'm definitely going to be an ankle biter. Ankle biter. Break ankle, shins, and bite ankle. Remember, Lala tanks are the best tanks. That's another thing. Like, I would look bad as fuck looking all little and cute and being a tank. I'd be so cute and badass. Also, there's like a Lala festival. Oh my god. Like, what? No other race. Hot. I mean, oh my god. No other race has like a cute little community. You know? It's boring out here. I want to be cute and little and bite ankles. A bittersweet victory if truth be told. I cannot deny that I have come to look forward to Tataru's tales of our many guests and their many, many demands. From the waking sands to the rising stones, passably poetic. That wasn't your doing, was it? Where there's no X's at all. I too have news to share. In expectation of this momentous day, I personally informed the alliance leaders of our plans, and they have pledged their full support, General Robon included. I swap between Lala and Lizard. Lizard whenever there's MSQ, and I'll go Lala whenever I want to mess around while waiting for patches. I don't know. I don't like the way the lizards look. I don't like it. I don't want to be a lizard. Moreover, I have decided that the time is right for us to cast off the vestiges of our order veil of secrecy and announce ourselves to the world. Originally, they looked more demonic, and that was thrown out the window in concept art I saw. Really? I'm happy that they don't. Are you sure that is wise, Antizendant? If anything, it is a mere formality. Our existence is quite possibly the worst kept secret in Eorzea. It really is the worst kept secret. Everybody knows who we are. Let us affirm our identity and proclaim our achievements, that all may know what the signs of Seventh Dawn stand for. Well, obvious risks apart, it would be nice to receive a little more recognition. And the people have the right to know who saved them. It is my hope that this gesture will encourage the people of Eorzea to place their trust in us. I would reveal to them the true extent of our power, yes. But in doing so, I would show them that it is a power accountable to no one and at once to all. And what of us? We who have felled primals and faced down the Empire, to you, my fellow Scions, I would say this: prepare for the challenges which lie ahead, for they will be great indeed. I just want to be short while keeping the sexy glams and female aura to the shortest outside of law. Yeah, that's another thing. I was thinking about that because that's the other shortest race, right? That's the other shortest race. But I don't know. I don't know if I want sexy glams. I kind of want to be cute. I don't know. I might go back and forth. Who knows? There may be some way I can... Wait, that area is said to be rich in minerals. Maybe I should ask to teach me the basics of mining too. I want to learn mining. Oh, there's another quest. Do you ever wonder how he does it, Alphanaut? I mean, it is almost predictable that he should appear with the emissary of the Adventurers Guild, mere moments after I had expressed the need to forge ties between our organizations. Truly, his sense of timing rivals even your own. And being a Fanta addict. I know. I might. You can buy them in the shop, right? Setting such mysteries aside for the present, I have a task for you. It's why I love playing Paladin sometimes. I shouldn't tank half the hits. I get smushed. It's so cute, though. I would like you to deliver these documents to Slaffborn. They concern our forthcoming move. Do take care of the road and present us well, Elowen. I will present us well, I will. I will. All my Spanish music is playing. What's going on? Okay. Slaffborn. I was told to expect a sign, but I didn't expect it to be you. It has been far too long, Elowen. You have something for me, yes? I do. I have a letter. A letter. Let's see now. Yes, everything appears to be in order. You'll be staying with us for a while, yes? Would that we had a dozen more like you. Since we don't, though, we'll just give you the work of a dozen men. Heh. I jest. They don't jest. You are serious. You are serious. I would get on, but I don't want to leave my bed. That is so fair. That is so fair. I have been up for like 5 hours already. I got out of bed at midnight. It's 5 a.m. I've been drinking a Monster for the past 2 hours. I don't know why I'm taking so long to drink it, but... Okay. 95 degrees Fahrenheit. I ain't leaving the AC. That is disgusting. It is 49 right now. And I am very happy because it's actually not hot for once in my office. Because every other day it's been like 90 and I've had to turn my AC on. So I don't blame you. Back to do work of a dozen men, I see. Hi, but I jest. He's gonna keep saying that. But I jest. You just now got my live notification? It's okay. Welcome in. Welcome in. I saw your comment like last night, I think. Even I can appreciate that an important woman such as yourself has little time for menial tasks. Saw your short on YouTube, first time watching. Why Final Fantasy? What got you into it? Honestly, I love MMOs like so much. The last MMO that I was super obsessed with was Throne and Liberty, and I love MMOs, so I really wanted to get into one. I had tried to get into Final Fantasy a couple of months ago and could not get into it, but my friends play it, so I watched a beginner's guide video because I just couldn't get into it because I didn't understand what I was doing. So I watched a beginner's guide and it explained so much to me. So then I tried again and I got super into it. And now I'm like super obsessed with it. And that is how I got into it. And now I like will not stop playing, and I've been playing every single day for the past like 2-3 weeks. It's been fun. And honestly, like the reason that I've been stuck with it too is like, first of all, the story is really good, but also the community has been so fantastic and so nice. I did not watch Joe Cat's guides. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was, hold on. I'm gonna look. I don't remember whose guides I watched. I don't remember whose guides I watched. But don't take me for granted. So much things I could say. Mm-mm. I don't remember. It's gonna bother me. No, I think it was this one. It's like by Lucky Ghost. It's 5 p.m. for you. It has no right to be 95. Oh my god, no, it does not. Is it still 100 degrees? There's no way it's 100. It's not 100 anymore, right? I was like, no way. But I was recommended Joe Cat's Guide, so I definitely am going to check them out. I just haven't yet. Did I swap to my phone because the site was laggy? Yes, I did. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Okay, but since you're here, mayhap you'd be keen on having a look around the Scion's new home. See that impressive structure over there? That's the place. What structure? Okay. It was originally built to house a branch of the guild, you see. As such, it comes with complete with a tavern where adventurers can rest from the road, fill their bellies with good food and drink, and their ears with tales of fortune to be had about the realm. It may get a bit I can't speak at times, but I imagine it'll be as good as a place as any to recruit capable men and women to your cause. Come with me, I'll show you around. Okay. Is that you, Elwyn? I'm quite sorry to interrupt, but I have most urgent news. I received grim tidings from Gridania, and it appears our aid is required at once. I must ask you to report back to the Waking Sands with all due haste. Is everything all right, my friends? I cannot go on your tour. I've been called to duty. I can't say I'm privy to the details, but it would appear that this is no time for a leisurely tour. But no worries, you can rest assured that I'll see to all necessary arrangements. Pray return any time when you've seen to your more pressing matters. Okay. Okay. I have to go back to the Waking Sands. So let's use the thing. Who is this person? Oh my god! They're cute! Oh, hi, I'm the Glam Fairy. Would you like some glams? Look how cute they are! Who is this? Anyways, what are you looking for? Forward to most. I think like doing raids and stuff. Doing raids, doing dungeons, stuff like that. I enjoy the most. Oh my god, this one's cute. That one's cute too. Wait. Okay. I think I like the black one. Oh my god. I'm a princess. Okay. I feel very wintry with this one. Okay. person is so cute. I know, they're just like, here's all this shit. This is adorable too. Oh my god, I like it. I think... Okay. All Megan gown. Oh, hold on. I love this. Hey, Lala. It's so cool. Okay, hold on. You're sending me so many things. Okay. I think I like... I like that one. The... Wintertide. I like the Wintertide one. Wintertide one. And the... I like the dress. The... Summer... Tide dress. Oh my god, I can't type. They're froggy! Look how cute they are! I'm obsessed. I want what they have. I know, right? They're so cute. I want to get more hair in Final Fantasy, but the one I want is expensive. Is it like expensive in-game or like real money expensive? What do I do with this? Yeah, which hair? I'm curious. In-game. And is a world boss fate. You are so cute. What's this? Thank you so much. I can reply to the last tell with R. Oh. Is a hairstyle. Hi. Oh my god. Oh, again, it's flat. Oh my god. They gave me money! So if I go R... Thank you! I'm in Aether Midgar. They were so random! My god! I love it. Exotic raid I have tried a few times only for that hair. Yeah, I can't wait to do like raids and stuff. I'm very excited. It's a fun story. You're in for a wild ride eventually. I hope you enjoy all of it. Oh, they're so sweet. They're so sweet. Need Yoshi P to add the ability to have good beards in the game. I've been asking for that for years. We need good beards. We need beards. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. I would prefer longer hair, but Square hates Whimsy. I know, I want longer hair too. Save character? Like, character as in, like, what I'm playing? Or, like, from the story? I forgot my final message. Was that you? Thank you! I'm like, are you the glam fairy? Okay. One request. One day in the far future. Pay it forward. Oh my god, I definitely will. Oh, you're back! The, what did I call it? What did I call it? Oh my god, it's not an Oompa Loompa. A Teletubby! I definitely will. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get to the point where I can give people glams and give people pets and stuff. I am so excited. What is all this? Oh my god, thank you. Oh my god, thank you. I've been doing this every Friday for like a year. I cannot wait to get to this point. I cannot wait. I am so excited. I'm just gonna go to everybody's stream and just gift people shit. I'm so excited. The reactions are the best. You are the cutest thing I've ever seen. The hairstyles that are endgame. Thank you. I don't even know how to change my hairstyle. Anywho, it's 4 a.m. I gotta pass out. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much. Get some rest. Good night. Do I just put use? No, I don't know. I've never messed with... I'm serious. I have no idea how to do it. I've never messed with my hair before. Oh boy. Hey! I haven't messed with it yet. I don't know. There's a quest in Limsa? Okay. It's a quest line. Oh. Yeah, no, I haven't. I have to look it up. Okay. Yeah, I have not messed with my hair at all. At all. But yeah, this is my Fantasia. Okay, are you taking me? It's a quest name. Beauty is only scalp deep. Okay. What do I do with this? Okay. I see, I see. Look for a blue marker. I don't have any blue markers here. I'm drowning. I have a blue quest right here. Oh, here it is. Okay. You're either a brave woman or a fool. Friend to be wandering the streets of Limsa tonight with the slasher of Fisherman's Bottom on the loose. You've not heard. There's a madman about. Why, it said he bandishes blades so long and sharp that they could gut a whale. No one's seen any blood yet, but that hasn't stopped the rumors from sending shivers up spines of every alehouse in town. I don't come here ever. So I have not picked up any blue quests in this area. You're now only discovered the addiction of constantly changing your character style. I have yet to get into it. That you're still standing before me tells me you don't scare as easily as the rest. Perhaps you could assist with the investigation. To start with, you might want to look into that scream I just heard outside. Shudder. Okay. Okay. This way. No. One mistake for being together. 17 years. Okay. My back is killing me. Jesus. Okay. What are you waiting for? That's him, the slasher. Apprehend him. Toss him in the gow. Throw away the key or gut him and feed his lifeless body to the sharks for all I care. Just do something. Oh my God. Whoa. Woe is me. Whatever did I do to deserve this cruel fate? For 6 moons, I saved every last gill of my husband's hard-earned wage for going new shoes, a new purse, sometimes even food for our children in anticipation of this day. What's so special about today, you ask? Why, this day marks the arrival of the world-renowned aesthetician in Limsa. The endless patience and self-control were to be rewarded with a hair-raising transformation that would have every fashion-conscious Leminsian ooshing and awing in admiration. Instead, I found myself accosted by this lecherous lout. Speaking of which, weren't you going to do something about this? Go ahead and have your way with him. I doubt he has anything to say for himself. This man? Of course you take her side. For shame. Is there not one sympathetic ear in this entire nation? An artist of my renown should be welcomed with open arms and a 21 cannon salute. Instead, I am branded a criminal. The tools of my trade, nay, the extensions of my very soul, ripped unceremoniously from my persons like barnacles from the side of a frigate. I will not last long in my weakened state. No, even as we speak, the world around me grows dim. With my dying breath, I speak unto you 3 names, 3 kind souls who may yet put right what has gone so frightfully wrong. Lord Master Hansa of Naldic. That's not how you pronounce that. Guildmaster Beaton of Grenadian Carpenters Guild, and Sir Vanian at the Alchemist Guild of Inolda. If there is any ounce of a compassion in you, seek them out and tell them Jen Delane sent you. With my soul is restored, my name rightfully cleared, all of Limsa, nay, the entire realm will sing your praises, for I, Jan Delane, am none other than the A's. Cough. The A's. I wheeze. Ugh. Okay. Okay. Where is this one? I'm here. Girl, too cold. My own, I wanna. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna complete this quest because I did not know this was a thing. Do I go up? Oh, this way. Let me guess. The Barmese fool lost his tools, pardon me, the appendages of his very soul. Again, and his thrashing and tossing like the end of days is nigh. The man brings it on himself. If he toned down the theatrics and went about his work like an earnest craftsman, I dare say he'd save himself these misunderstandings. No, I've got a wit of sympathy for the fool. You, however, have my pity. Instead of having to play audience to his whining. Any road. This should shut him up for a while. Tell him that if he loses these, I'll graft the next pair into his bloody hands. Okay. To Gridania we go. Okay. This way. This way. He's up there. Message from Jandalane, you say? So he's lost another one. Sigh. Does this man not understand that the wood does not simply grow on Earth? Actually, it does, at least in the manner of speaking, but the fact remains that the resources are in short supply. For all his flowery words, if his tools were truly an extension of his very being, one would think he'd find a way to hold on to them more than a fortnight or two. Jandalane's skills are not to be doubted, but his temperament leaves much to be desired. Still, it is not my place to judge. Take this to him and let us both hope that he will right his ways. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Let's see. Alchemist Guild. Hello? Oh my god. Yes. Alchemist. You come on behalf of Jandalane? Why, I just furnished him with a fresh batch of my special creations last week. Realize this man's services are in demand, but it would be physically impossible for him to exhaust the entire supply so soon. Stolen, you say, an unfortunate turn of events indeed, if not entirely unexpected. You see, the man is something of a genius. Genius is often misunderstood with modest minds. Trust me, as I speak with extensive personal experience. Yes, great minds must band together in trying times, lest the realm be deprived of our talents. And so I command you, deliver this parcel to Jandalane with all speed. Okay. I almost had to sneeze, and then it went away. Yeah, Aft Castle. Okay. Okay. Here's your stuff, sir. I beg you, retrieve from me the tools of my trade, for I am none the other than Jandalane the... Oh my god, he's the guy for the hair. He's annoying. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Could this be? Yes, I can feel it. The light returns to my eyes. Power courses through my fingers. I live. Oh my god. He's so dramatic. Oh my god. As I live, this unspeakable embodiment of ugliness must die. Be gone, foul demon. Foul demon. Foul demon. Baldy! Bald! Baldy. That's me. Bald. And so I ask, how do you feel, madam? Why, it's as if in a single magnificent moment I traveled beyond the void and returned to life as the embodiment of all that is beautiful in the world. Could it be? Yes, it must be. How else to explain such power? You are the one whose coming was foretold. Yes, you are the... I can't pronounce that word. It's a normal English word, and I cannot pronounce that word. In the flesh, madam, I am Jandalane, crafter of the coffers, to so divine that Minfina herself both begrudge my clientele their beauty, and let us speak of you, madam, for where a moment ago stood a fashion-challenged frump, now there stands... A beauty reborn. Oh my god. Shut up, Faye. And you are the one I must thank for reviving my soul. I might once again bestow my gifts on a realm bereft of beauty, a kindness I intend to repay for in full. Do you fear that your own hairstyle is becoming passe? I call him acetician. Acetician. Fear the specter of gasp, ugliness, threatening to consume you. Fear not, friend, for it shall not survive my wrath. Is that right? I have no idea. Who knows, honestly? As the madam before you, as this very realm we call home, from an abyss of unfathomable drabness, you shall rise anew. My clients have been known to make reservations even years in advance, but you shall have no troubles, such troubles. No, for proving a staunch ally to good taste when all others turned a blind eye, I gladly place myself at your beck and call. After this quest, you want to go to your inn and click on the barber pole. Oh, okay. Yes, the next time you find yourself plagued by aesthetic in whatever, you need only ring the crystal bell from your comfort of any inn room at which you have taken up lodgings. Dandelions shall hasten to the scene. Yes, in a flash, the dreary, uninspired life you have hitherto shall end. You shall travel to the realm beyond and return to us as a beauty reborn. This guy is so dramatic. I give you this as a token of trust between us. Treasure it, for it is the key to a world of aesthetic wonders ordinary woman shall never know. I've not made my next appointment. Say aesthetic, but I can't. Aesthetician. I can't do it. It doesn't work. By using the crystal bell found in your inn room, you can call upon the services of the flamboyant. Oh no! Yeah, I can't do it. My body can't do it. Also, okay, should we use my Fantasia and you guys help me make my character? How do I use it? Jimmy from South Park. They're a style. You just what do I do? Use it? Use it like a potion? Okay. You can now re-edit your character's appearance and background. Remove all your gear and accessories. That was so fast. Okay. Unequipped everything. Okay. So like this. Then quit to main menu. Okay. I should go to my BRB screen. Okay, I'm still gonna talk. Why should I go to my BRB screen? I've been waiting to see what happens with this once. Oh. I was like, does going to my thing show something? Okay, I'm back. They're gonna be naked the entire time. That's fine. Okay, so now I log out. Okay, before you log back into your character, you want to right click on your character's profile. Like right click here. Oh, and then choose the edit option. Flagged on Twitch or YouTube? No, because it's covered. Re-edit character. Yeah, unholy. Okay, and then press OK. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you see, she's so tall. Look how tall. I hate it. That's scary. I don't like that one either. We don't know Daddy's getting hot at the party. Allison's are cool, but yeah, I know. Tall bun. Okay. Let's get you flagged. I don't think it'll get me flagged on YouTube either because like it's covered. Okay. Giraffe neck. It is a giraffe neck. Okay. I'm a baby. Okay, there's two. What's the difference? Yeah, they're still tall, I feel like. Does it matter? Okay, they're a clever opportunist. You think you're Dunes folk? Can't you change the attire down left when re-editing? Down right? I'm not sure. Okay, my height. I'm gonna be the shortest possible. There's no bust size. I'm a Lala, okay? We're switching. If you're a min height Lala, you come to max height Veer's knees. Oh my god. I'm a baby. Okay, I think I like either this face or this face. I think I like that face better. 5'8" is so tall. Okay, skin color. We're gonna be a little tan. Just a little tan. Hairstyle. 5'8" is tall. I am 4'11", sir. Oh, this one's cute. 6'3". Jeez. Oh, this one's cute. At their shortest is 6 feet. That is crazy. That's so tall. Oh, this is cute too, though. I kind of like the bangs. Okay, hold on. We're gonna go through each one. Oh my god, I don't know which one to pick. They're all so cute. Oh, the braids are cute. She's 7'5" without heels? Jesus. Okay, we might do... I'm between this one or this one. Color Giants. We should revoke the kneecaps of all the dolls. We should. We should. I will bite your ankles. I'm an ankle biter. Okay. This hair or this hair? I don't know. Do we like the buns? Or do we like the wavy? I don't know. The wavy or the buns? We like the buns? Ankle snatcher on Dynamis. I love that. That's me. Ankle snatcher. I'll snatch your ankles. I'll eat them. Okay, what color hair do I want? I had purple hair before. ACL. Oh my god. I could do the black with the blonde. Like my hair. Like the ligament in your knee. Oh. That is so funny. I could do... Or I could do the blonde and then have the black. No, because you can hardly see the black. Cute. Okay. There's only 4 types of jaws. Let's see. I like the big cheeks. The big cheeks are cute. Okay. Eye shape. I don't like this song. Okay. Okay, let's see. I think I like... Oh, wait. I think I like that one. That's cute. More for pinching! I know, it's so cute. I like large, I think. Eye color. We're gonna do blue. We're gonna stick... We're gonna look like the VTuber a little bit. More for pinching. I have big chubby cheeks. Okay, let's see. I think I like that one. Oh my god, the nose. The nose. The cute little nose. Oh my god, hold on. I like that one. I think I like that one the most. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, I'm obsessed. Yeah! I'm gonna have her match my VTuber a little bit. I think I like those lips more. Maybe those? No. We like a little bit fuller lip. A little bit fuller lip. We'll have no lipstick. Okay. Oh, I like these. Yeah, I think I like those better. Do we want long ears? Maybe in the middle. What's this? Oh, it just... Oh, I don't like that. Earrings? Darker eyebrows? I think I like that. Maybe earrings? Okay. Yeah, I think we like that. I think I like that. Oh, it's just face. Okay, I don't like that. Face paint? That's cute. Face paint color? No, actually, I don't think I want to do face paint. Okay, I think I like her. What do you think? I know, I like that voice. Okay, I think we're confirming it. I think we like it. One saved appearance data can be reused. Oh, this is just like... Okay. And I don't want to change anything else, I don't think. Look how cute I am! I believe you have 10 minutes of grace time where you can change your character. Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we like it. I think we're cute. Look at me in my diaper. An hour? Oh, wow. So if you're like, I hate this, you can just change it back. Kind of sounds like a toad from Mario. Okay. Let's do it. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. No, do not kill all Lalas. Oh yeah, 60 minutes remaining, it says. Okay. Let's do it. I'm naked. Oh my god, I look so cute in my dress. Look at me. Look at my little heels. Oh my god. I look so much cuter. Yet so sassy. I'm adorable. Also, look at my weapon. Somebody gave it to me. Just a heads up, some people will come and pet you. Some will ask, others will not. That's okay. They can pet me. Look at my weapon. Isn't it so cute? It has a little chickie on it or something. It's adorable. Okay. Do not pet me. How dare you? How dare you? Okay. We did it. We're cute now. Okay. Back to... I'm gonna leave the party. Oh, the inn. Oopsies. I forgot about that already. I'm so short. I roasted the heck out of a cat boy who sent me suggestive tells today. What did he say? What did he say? Oh, he's here. Oh, this is... Oh, hold on. Oh, it has flowers. Oh, it has flowers. Look at you. I want it. I wish the like yellow was more like prominent. It was the right hair that... Oh, really? He said, hey, baby girl, I want you to have my kittens. Ew. Ew. Don't die, thank you. I replied with 1, not my type. 2, I don't want fleas. 3, I don't want your disease-ridden Peter within 39 and a half yalms of me. Ew. People are so weird. People are so strange. We're gonna do that, I think. That is so cute. Yes, I will pay for it. They always want money. That is crazy that someone said that to you. Okay. I'm so cute. I'm very happy. I'm very content with this. 2,000 is worth it when you can instantly summon a hairstylist who can make your hair grow instantly, to be honest. Honestly, yeah, it's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay, let's go speak to Tataru. Oh, I could have... I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Bones. I'm so cute. Oh my god, I'm happy. Also, look at the mount that I just bought. Look at it. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen. $30. Do not judge me. I know, it was $30. Don't judge me. Okay? It was. But look how cute I am. All characters move and jump at the same speed. It just looks like Lala's move faster because they're their little legs. Look at me. Look at me in my little seat. I'm so cute. But yes, it was $30. Look at its little legs. Look at it. It was worth it, I will say. I like the music that it plays. It's very cute. I do not regret my purchase. Oh, Tantu's right here. A messenger from the Twin Adder came to the Waking Sands while you were in Mordana. I wasn't privy to his conversation with the Antecedent, but I did see the look on her face after he took his leave. Something is definitely amiss. Could it be that Ixel has summoned Garuda again? Or mayhap Imperial forces have been sighted within the Shroud? Whatever it may be, I'm certain it's nothing you can't handle. Now go and ask the Antecedent if there's anything you can do. Okay. Okay. I knew this day would come, yet I prayed it would not come so soon. We have reason to believe that another primal, or an entity resembling one, has been summoned in Gridania. Oh, I'm so cute in cutscenes now. Okay. Thine arrival is... I hate when this guy speaks. The etheric waves leave little room for doubt. Thy talents will be needed ere long. If there is truth in my suspicions, 'tis a familiar foe we face, though one quite unlike the Lady of the Vortex. We dare not draw conclusions without evidence, but as Urianger says, the readings bear a stronger resemblance to ones observed more than 5 years ago, though I had hoped the Moggles guard beyond such follies. Suffice it to say, this disturbance warrants a full investigation. Thy presence have been requested by Commander Hilo. He awaits thee at the Adder's Nest. Pray hasten to Gridania, Elwyn. Ida and Polimo will rendezvous with you there. May you walk in the light of the crystal. I keep forgetting that I can press this instead of having to do that every time. Okay. What I've been through again. Okay. Ooh, there's a quest there. You know what's really nice is that I'm not in the way of people anymore because I'm so short. I kept clicking on myself sometimes. Pleasure to see you as always, Private Moonveil. Thank you for coming so swiftly. I could think of no one more qualified to, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Allow me to explain. I am potato-sized. I love it. Not long ago, the Moogle Kulpo Cop visited Adder's Nest to request an audience with the Elder Seedseer. Emotes like happy and angry. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna look after this. He spoke with imminent threat to all Moogle kind, one which would imperil the entire 12 wood if left unchecked. You proved an able ambassador to the Sylphs, and we would have you reprise the role in our dealings with the Moogles. The rest you should hear from Kulpo Cop himself. He awaits you with the Elder Seer at the Lotus Stand. Okay. Okay, hold on. I can't see. It's too dark over here. Okay. Oh, I'm so cute. Hi, I'm so cute. So cute. Okay, we're gonna do that another time. What I've been doing off stream for the past like 2 days is, so I don't do the MSQ, is blue quests and stuff. So I'm gonna do blue quests off stream. Reminds me of the Amelia Bobinias. Amelia Bobinis. Okay, let's go this way. I love this hairstyle with the flowers. It's so pretty. Did I already attune this? Yes. Okay. The other signs have already arrived, madam. May I show you in? Yes. Okay, I'm actually gonna quickly use the bathroom. I'm not even gonna put myself on BRB. I'm just gonna like remove the camera. I'll be right back. I'm back. You know what sound I need? What sound alert? The TikTok sound that's like, aw, so cute. That's what I need. That's the sound I need. Okay. I love this lady. The Moogles! Please, you have to stop them. But you mustn't kill them. They're not bad Moogles, Kupo. They're just misguided. A gentle no, firm thrashing is in order, yes, but no. Calm yourself, Kupo Cop. Can you not see that she hasn't the faintest idea what you're talking about? Be quiet this instant. Please forgive this witless outburst, sister. Most grateful am I that you have come, Elowen, and upon such short notice. Truly, Gridania could not wish for a more stalwart ally. But you are doubtless eager to know wherefore we summoned you. Our friend Kupokop has brought to us news of the most unsettling development. It would seem that the good King Moggle Mog has returned to Eorzea. A curious thing to hear, I know. Truth to tell, I myself cannot say for sure if he is a genuine figure from history or some manifestation of Moogle mythology. Kuplo. Oh my god. Kuplo here would have me believe the former. Once upon a time, we Moogles served the gods in the heavens. It was quite nice up there, unspeakably beautiful, unimaginably spacious, and with an literally endless supply of wine. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. In spite of this, or possibly because of the last part, the gods eventually became discontented and started squabbling, which made life jolly difficult for the poor Moogles. So good King Moggle Mog, may his glorious name live forever, decreed that the time has come to leave Kupo. The realm of the man would suffice, he said, so all the Mughals should live there instead. Unfortunately, the two realms are so far apart that we couldn't safely fly down, but King Mogul Mog, may his miraculously foresight ever be praised, knew exactly what to do, Kupo. He had a rope, you see, the longest one ever woven. This he nobly held while his subjects climbed all the way down to the world below. And that is how we Mughals came to this land, Kupo. All of us except good King Mogul Mog. May his courageous sacrifice never be forgotten. He alone would remain in the heavens so that Mughal kind might as last know peace. Except that he has not remained in the heavens, from what I understand. That bring your reason for contacting us, yes? I bet he tied the rope to something. Good thinking. Remind me again, what was the problem of him returning to Eorzea? The problem lies the fact that he was summoned. It is our belief that good King Mogul Mob is a myth made manifest via means akin to those employed by the beast tribes in the summoning of their gods. Wait, you're saying a handful of Mughals with a boatload of crystals wished really, really hard and he just sort of appeared? Would that even work? What I can't fathom is why they would even try. With Garuda humbled and the ultimate weapon destroyed, what new threat could have prompted them to take so drastic a measure? Might that not in itself be the answer? Twice in the last half-decade, Eorzea has been brought into the very blink of destruction, only to be spared by at the last by heroics of the chosen few. To you, who braved those tempests and survived by the virtue of your own strength, this latest period of peace will doubtless seem a welcome respite. But to those who had not the power to defend themselves, who were spared only by another's grace, this is merely the calm before the storm. And to think the Mughals guard are afraid of what tomorrow will bring, and what things may not end so well as they did yesterday. The fear has driven them to call upon a great power, one they believe can be relied upon to protect their loved ones and their homes. I assure you, the Mughals guard only want to protect the forest from outsiders, but ever since the return of good King Mogul Mob, may his boundless grace fill our hearts with love. They're started to get a little carried away, Kupo, verging on a lot, in fact. Like the sylphs who summoned Ramo, you mean? We cannot discount the possibility that this entity is influencing the Mughals in a manner similar to that of a primal. We share the same concern. Whoever or whatever the king may be, it is our belief that he poses a threat not only to Mughal kind, but to Gridania as a whole. Thus we do beseech you, Elowin, confront good King Mughal Mog, and drive him from our midst. Humbly, I do thank you. The sanctuary of the Mughals guard and their liege lord is concealed by magical wards. Brother E. Sumiyan of the Conjurers Guild will doubtless be able to offer insight on how they may be dispelled. Pray seek his counsel ere you proceed any further. Okay. I don't know where we are on the map, so I'm gonna exit this. Yeah, we're right here. I like how I run. I'm so cute. Okay. Welcome, Elwyn. Welcome. That you should be the one to face good King Mogul Mog is a great comfort to me and to the elementals both. As I am sure you know, the Mughals are not by their nature a warlike race, yet should the king be suffered to remain, it is like that his influence will bring about a change in them. Thus does it behoove us to defeat him quickly before any lasting damage is done. Make whatever preparations you deem necessary and inform me when you are ready to seek their king. Okay. Oh, there's another quest here. Okay. Hi, Carmelicious. Welcome in. The wards bearing access to the King's Sanctuary can only be nullified through the use of enchanted keystones, the self-same method employed 5 years ago when first the king was summoned to Eorzea. It was the great regret that we were forced to sanction the slaying of the guardians who then held the keystones, for none were in our possession at the time. By the grace of elementals, however, we have been spared that burden on this occasion. Popocop confided in me that he had been entrusted with a set of keystones by the Muggles guards themselves. Yet, wishing not to betray their confidence, he begged me to find some other means to gain entry to the king's sanctum. Alas, I have been unable to do so and dare not labor any longer, for fear that the Muggles might succumb to the corrupting influence of their liege lord. We must needs have Colpocop's keystones, Elwyn. Pray to him and beg his assistance. He awaits for you at the West Shore Pier. Impress him upon our great need, and I am certain he will yield. Okay, I'm just going to take this quest. It is well that you are here, Elwyn. Some burdens are too heavy to bear, even for those favored to abide. Know that you are chosen as much for your true heart as your skill. I speak to you in the same name as the 3 seed seers, the eldest, and you already know as the guardian of our fair land. 2 siblings has she. It is the younger of this pair, Auburn Senna, who hears the voice of the elementals with great clarity, and what he has heard lately is troubling indeed. These dark steerings have traced the lost city of Amanpodor in the South Shroud, the city once throve in the fullness of magic during the 5th astral era, but it was sealed in the wake of its demise. Alas, the 12 woods have been out of balance since the calamity. The righteous has its aspect become that the seal has severely weakened. When this happened, the forest surrounding the city began to wither and die. We would enjoin you to investigate the cause. Now, I must confess that this is a task for the Twin Adder normally, but we do not live in normal times, Elwyn. The company is spread thin, and you are stout with success. Will you not assist? It is well that you assent, for the need is great. So go now to Seedseer Rhea Osana at Camp Tranquil and listen well to what she has to say of her brother's divination. Okay. Oh, there's another quest here. Oh, this is the Conjurer's thing. I'm not gonna read it. I'm not reading it all. Okay. We'll come back here. Okay, let's do this one. Okay. We have to go to the Lancers. Complicated. There's a bunch of quests over there too. I definitely have to come to each town and like pick up all the blue quests. It's gonna be my adventure to do off stream, probably. Okay. Okay. How did you do it, Kupo? Oh, he told you about that. Well, there is truly no other way I'll do it, Kupo. Take the ferry to Sweet Bloom Pier. I'll go on ahead. Sweet Bloom Pier. A bee-themed streamer playing 14. This will be grand. Hi! Yes, I am bee-themed. Did I talk? Hi! Oh my god. Sweet Bloom Pier. Yes. Welcome in. I am a bee. Oh, they're so cute. Look at them in their little armor and stuff. Don't you dare lie to me, Kupo. I know what you're planning, and I won't allow it. Open your eyes, Kupo. The king will never be satisfied, no matter how many crystals you bring him. It's great to be here. Yes. We offered you a choice, and this is how you repay us, by consorting with the Lalafell, Imperials, Grundanians, Sylphs. You're no different than the rest of them. Actually, you're worse, Kupo. Very original. It's cute. Traitor to his king's Mughals. He plots treason against the crown. Enough, Kupo Klop will answer to his crime soon enough, as will all who defy the will of the good King Moggle Mog. May he reign in furthermore, Kupo. The king is planning to purge the 12 lords of his enemies, Kupo. We've got to stop him before it's too late. The entrance to Thornmarch is deep within the Brandle Patch, Kupo. If you take me there, I can nullify the ward. And be warned, the Muggles Guard has set traps to lure enchanted beasts. I can't hide from them, so you'll need to protect me. Certain duties require that you export an NPC to a designated location while guarding them from enemy attacks. Should you stray too far from the NPC or they are attacked, they will stop moving. Okay. Where? Oh, this one? Okay. Making sure he's not getting attacked. I'm going as fast as possible. Okay, we're going as fast as possible. This way? Where am I? Okay. Heavensward is what it stands for. Okay. Please don't die. I am doing good. He's gonna die. He died. Okay, maybe there's a better way to get here. There is a better way to get here. Okay. Okay. I didn't look at the map, which I totally should have before I started this adventure. Okay, we're gonna try this again. He did. He died. Okay. Come on. You're not coming. Okay. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. 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 Oh. Wasn't paying attention. This is post-error. I was like, where about MSQ is this? Yeah. I just started. Oh my god, he's gonna die again. He's gonna die again. Can I heal you? Okay. You get healed over time. Okay, let's wait for a second. I'm surprised he didn't die. Oh my god. We can't go faster. Hold on. You're healing. That was so close. I know. Okay, please heal up. Please heal. on. No! He's gonna die. You might. Heal up, please. Okay, he's healed. Okay, okay. I'm so focused right now. No! What is going on? I can't do anything while I'm under... That is not good. I was locked in. Why do I keep getting interrupted? Why do I keep getting interrupted? Please come here. You're gonna die. Who is this person helping me? Thank you. Oh my god, my Spanish music. Probably, Kupo. You're not gonna die because somebody's healing you. Because we got help here. How hard I try. Okay. Come on. Let's go. We're almost there. When it used that bad breath, it silences you. Oh. Okay. Yay, we did it. Thank you for whoever helped me. Also paralyzing and a few other status effects. It's unbelievably annoying. That is very, very annoying, actually. You ready to face the king, Kupo? Then step closer to the ward. Raise your hand and focus like when you attune an etherite, Kupo. I'll open the way for you. Okay. What is wrong with me? That almost got me to quit when I first started all those years ago. Oh my god. Rest up to you, Kupo. Now go and teach those foolish Moogles a lesson and send the king back hence where he came from. The Kupo quest was hell for me when I first did it. Yeah, that was very annoying. I'm not going to lie. Okay. long it takes us. See how long it takes us. I am finally done with my monster. It literally took me 3 hours, 3.5 hours to finish this drink. I played tank, so I took all the aggro. That would have been way better. Good old tank privileges. Yeah, that would have been better. And... oh god. Okay. This is gonna be hard, huh? Ain't it? It says hard on it. So now I'm scared. I also never play with NPCs because I feel like MMOs are like, I don't know why they call it hard still. It was not that bad. Used to be hard. It's just a normal version of the duty. Oh, okay. Buffalo calf. When did I get this? They also did change it quite a bit. Oh. We're waiting and waiting. Changing the music. Okay. I'm probably gonna keep streaming until like 7 my time, which is in like 30-ish minutes. I will take your hand. Depending on how long this takes, I guess. It's taking forever. Usually I do dungeons and stuff and duties and stuff off stream because they do take like a little bit to get on, but it's like this next part of the story, so. There we go. Yes, I am. They're so cute. I love them. Look at the one with the little witch hat. Oh my god. Good King Moggle Mog. Lord of the land. Yeah, it doesn't take that long usually. You cute as a healer. Yeah, Aether... What am I supposed to do with this? Oop. That's another reason why I don't want to leave Aether. I want to listen. Hold on. I'm going to stop the music. They're so cute. Hail to the King Kupo. Oh! Here he is! Dance party! Oh, it's the music from my mount. I love it. Oh my god, I love it. Okay. Why did they all go to that, section over there? I do really like this song. Running. Okay. Yeah, I do really like this music. Look at him, he's so cute. Aww. Okay. I didn't get it. You did it, Koopa. You did it. Good King Moggle Mog. May his almighty soul rest in pieces no more. I shudder to think what might have happened had you not stopped the Moggle's guard when you did. Thank you, Elowen. Perhaps now they'll come to their senses and stop playing at fairy tales. Rest assured that the chieftain will have choice words of them too. You should go and tell Pugni Pack that the king is no more, Kupo. She's with Raya-O at Camp Tranquil and relay the news. Ooh, I need to go speak to her anyways. It's okay, I'm sure if you really wanted it, people from chat would run it with you unsynced. Or even craft one for you. Okay. Can just unsync it. Okay. Yeah, I have to go to Camp Tranquil anyways. Anyways. We might do that. I'm gonna look and see like what exactly, like what weapons they are. I'm walking the wrong way. Another thing. Okay. Yeah, I have to talk to Rhea Osena anyways for that other quest. Hear about that cursed pile of rocks they call the lost city of Abator? I assume I am Rhea Osena, sister to the Elder Seer. Seer. Brother Iyumiyan hasn't told you much, has he? Discretion is the better part of his valor. Well, aside from Abapador, I can't pronounce that, keep, the city is all that remains of an advanced magical civilization from the 5th astral era. No records survive of how the city met its end, but the elementals tell us all was undone by the Great One called an unclean presence. I fear that my brother senses its very thing. Its sedatedness drained away by after so many centuries, if it hungers for another city to slake its thirst on. The DRG one is funny. What does DRG mean? I'll take it from here, sister. Uh, there you are, brother. Why must you dawdle so and leave the tedious explanations to me? Now convey all that you felt to this artful adventurer. My sister paints me as a mumbling rustic, but I assure you, I'm nothing of the sort. I'm simply attuned to something greater, which brings us to that darkness stirring in Amandor behind the barrier. Something has kindled there, and daily it grows, and how distrait the elementals are. I've not seen the like of it. They show me what feels like the awakening and nightmares. I fear this calls for a more prosaic sensing than that of my rare gift. Some disaster slouches towards us. May you discover the source of these dark visions and nip it in the bud. You are our best hope, Elowen. Surely you can find the will to journey. You shall find the wood wailer by the name of Alphine, keeping vigil at the barrier. And don't worry about returning here to tell us about your findings. The elementals will doubtless keep us apprised. And enough talk. Good luck, Elowen. Okay. Do I dare believe my ears? Good King Moggle Mog, may his magnificent virtue serve as an example to us all, has fallen. I love how they do that. All Mugglekind owes you a debt, Kupo. And I sense Rhea-O wishes to congratulate you as well. I shall let you two speak without fear of interruption. Your bravery and service to the Twelveswood and her Muggles shall not be forgotten, Elowen. My sister will doubtless wish to hear the tale of this great victory from the mouth of the woman responsible. Pray return to the Lotus Stand and treat her to a full account of the day's events, while the details are yet fresh in your mind. Okay, let's go this way. I remember. You will never change. I'm here. The elder is expecting you, madam. May I show you in? Yes. Elwyn, you have returned to us unharmed and victorious. Thus I have 2 reasons to be glad. Yet I have so many questions unanswered. If you would not be so kind to oblige me, I would fain hear all that occurred in Thornmarch. Then it is as we feared. The king really is a primal, but he really isn't, is he? I mean, the Mughals don't worship him, for one thing. He's not even a god to them. It doesn't sound like any primal I've ever heard of. Then mayhap the fault lies with the definition. The fact remains that though a combination of the power contained in crystals and the force of their collective faith, the Mughals called forth a being that by rights should not exist. Moreover, when slain, said being left no corpse, the ether which comprised him instead being scattered to the 4th winds. According to the accepted definition, he may not be a primal, but the mode of his manifestation was in every respect the same. Which means Asians, the whole business reeks of their handiwork. Pupo, they said it was a maskman who had taught them how years ago, but Gridania had no shortage of maskmen, and I never thought to question. Confound it all, how many more will they ensnare with their tainted gifts? Too many, I fear. So long as there are paragons to stir the embers, fuel to build the pyre, and crystals to feed the flames, ever and again shall we suffer primal visitation. A somber thought, but a solitary one. My heartful thanks, Elwyn. Already, the information you have provided has proven invaluable. The Grand Serpent Marshal and I have much to discuss. Oh, before you do, my lady, I was hoping we might finish discussing the other matter. The matter of which you speak has been now settled. The Scions shall not want for support. We shall be glad to send additional supplies to Revenant's Toll. We knew we can count on you, my lady. While Yida and I remain to discuss the particular of our arrangement with the Eldseeds here, mayhap you return to the Waking Sands and apprise the antecedent of all that has transpired. I'm so cute! I can do that, though. Don't be scared. Oh God, big yawn. Let's tell her everything that happened. It's good to see you hale and healthy, Elwyn. I received word from Yida and Palimo that you have felled good King Mogglmog, but I had hoped to hear your version of the tale. So it was as they said, summoned with the same methods used by the beast tribes and taught by the Asians. Though unfortunate, this incident did at least serve to remind the elder Seedseer of our usefulness. Her offer of additional support could not have come at a better time. My thanks, Elwyn. Owing to the tireless efforts of all concerned, we are at long last ready to bid farewell to Vester Bay. So, as to avoid drawing undue attention, we shall make the journey to Revenant's Toll in small groups, departing at irregular intervals. Lest you doubt, it is still my intention to conduct future operations openly, But on this particular occasion, the need of caution overrides all other concerns. To move north as one Parandus caravan would only serve to invite attack. It seemed only right that I should be the last to leave, and I would have you remain with me until the end, Elwyn. Upon my departure, the Walking Sands will formally cease to be our headquarters, and the premises will be given to the care of Urianger. I had thought to relinquish the property, but he was quite animate, and I had not the heart to disagree. These walls have borne witness to some of the brightest and darkest moments of our order's history. Mayhap it is best that we do not forsake them entirely. Urianger shall remain here and devote his energies to studying the nature of the primals. By the grace of the 12, he will one day discover the permanent solution that we have sought for so long. Of course, he will not be alone. Shall continue to work closely with him as well. Should they require assistance, I have their assurances that they will not hesitate to contact us. Would you inquire of him if any tasks remain undone? I cannot escape the feeling that I have forgotten something important. Okay. I got you, girl. I got you. I'll check with him. Fade away. Okay. Thou art ever welcome, Elwyn, but I require no assistance. Pray take thy leave unburdened by concern for my well-being. Verily, thy countenance bespeaks a desire to quit this place without further delay. Mayhap thou thinkest this chapter of our tale concluded, that these halls should rightly be consigned to the annals of history. In man's eagerness to seize the future, how readily he doth set down the past. Full many a proud pioneer hath bravely stridden into the great unknown, only to find there a banner of his ancestor, faded by the eons, and still man glorieth in his discoveries. This through his pride, that wisdom doth ever give way to ignorance. Oh my god, hi! Hi, Astral! Welcome in! Astral Astrid, welcome in! How was your stream? How was your stream? Tell me all about it. What were you doing? Oh, message got blocked. I don't know why.
Astral Astrid just traded with 19
Yeah,
views.
the jelly dance. I love SpongeBob, so welcome in. How was your stream? What were you playing? Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. If you don't know who I am D. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, and we are up to Heavensward. And yeah, thank you so much for the follows. I appreciate it. We played some Kingdom Come Deliverance and then some Final Fantasy. Ooh, that's awesome. Yeah, we're really early on. We literally just finished A Realm Reborn. I finished it off stream because I fell in love and could not stop playing the other night, and I, by mistake, finished it. But it's okay. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate the raid so much. If you need to raid and run, I completely understand. You gotta take care of yourself. Go eat, drink, sleep, whatever you gotta do. How are you enjoying MSQ? I'm enjoying it so much. The story is really good. Thank you so much for the follow. Heavensward is so good. It's my favorite expansion. Really? That's awesome. I'm really excited. I am loving the story so much. I know people, like, some people hate on A Realm Reborn, but I loved it. Like, I loved it the whole time. It was really good. It was really enjoyable. Hi, Kuma. Let me give you a follow. Let me give you a follow, Astrid, before I forget. I will forever call Urianger Oranger because I cannot pronounce it otherwise. I cannot pronounce it either. I've been like Urianger. I'm pretty sure that's wrong, but I also cannot stand the way he speaks. I don't understand anything this man is telling me. Hi. How are you? Yeah, I don't understand anything he's saying. I do got to raid and run though. My brain has been having so much serotonin lately, so it's like 10 to 15 hours daily, and I think I'm spent. Oh my god. Yeah. Go rest. Make sure you eat, drink, take care of yourself. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it so much. I will. I'll take care of them. I'll take care of them. We're just working on the MSQ and hanging out and listening to music. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. Oh my god, we've gotten 10 follows today. I appreciate you guys so much. It's so sweet. Everybody's been so sweet. Heavensward is one of my faves because it made me get addicted. Honestly, I feel like A Realm Reborn is what made me get addicted. Like, I cried through so many things. Well, I cried through one main thing in A Realm Reborn, and everybody's like, if you cried through that, then you're gonna cry so much more. I'm like, it was sad. Yeah, sleep well. Sleep well. But yeah, I've been obsessed. I've been playing nonstop for the past like 2 weeks. It's been a lot of fun. The past like 2 days, I've been only working on blue quests and stuff, which is what I've been trying to do off stream, is just like work on blue quests so I don't touch the MSQ. But I got into the MSQ the other day and I could not stop. So I finished A Realm Reborn off stream. Bad me. Bad me. Okay. It's so much fun. So much fun. The other night, I think I played 10 hours straight. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I should have been kicked off my computer. My computer should have kicked me off. It was... Oh my god. Be not offended, Elwyn. Thy conduct hath ever... Like, what are you saying, sir? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Yuri anger. That's honestly probably kind of what it is. It's close enough. It's close enough. The solar... Well, for Fen, the antecedent... I also used my Fantasia, or whatever it's pronounced, today. Oh my god, she's on the floor. But I used it today and I became a Lala. Elwyn, you must... What is wrong with her? Oh. She is so pretty. I love her. So pretty. Would you have done the same? Was a remarkable man, wise beyond mortal measure. Would that I had met him prior to his passing. Oh! No! Nation here? How? How readily you see. You are indeed gifted, antecedent. But you are not like the others. Your robes. Gifted but ignorant. Yet I shall not judge you harshly. The fault lies with your forebears. It's been a millennia. Mine are the robes of the emissary. Unlike he who came before, I have no quarrel with you. He who you speak of Lahabre? Lahabre is a warrior. He fought, he fell. He may yet learn from his mistakes. Then he is still... Come, I only come which you already knew. There is no cessation, no oblivion, no expulsion. You, what are... We're ready when you are, my lady, if there's nothing else. Is there something the matter? I feel the same way. After everything that's happened here, it feels strange to leave, but I'm sure we'll soon get used to Revenant's toll. Well, I'll let you say your goodbyes. Take as long as you'd like, my lady. We shall depart whenever you're ready. It is only to be expected. She lacks the gift and the knowledge both. To her, we are indistinct. I do not understand. Shadowless, fleshless, formless, what truth there is, each tale is diluted by time and telling. Knowledge dictates expectation, and expectation colors perception. Thus did she perceive not. So it is with all, but a chosen few, even you, when young, could not yet see with eyes unclouded. You know nothing about me, nothing. The gift grants you clarity, it grants you focus. With it, you may in time come to see us as we are, rather than this crude approximation. Lahabre did not think so highly of the echo. Lahabre is wrong about a great many things. The echo is indeed a gift, albeit one you have yet to master. And if we did, there would be no strife between our peoples, so we would be one mind. I leave as I came in peace, Antecedent. May we meet again as friends. Wait, stay where you are. Oh. Mayhap I was indelicate. This a mercy she shields her children from his grace with such resolve. Was it also by her hand that you survived the ardor, I wonder? Oh, shit. There is no need to explain. Save your concern. He did me no lasting harm. Whatever his intention was, it was not to kill. I heard a cry. What happened? Are you all right? You look faint. Do you need to lay down? I could catch you a flask of my special tonic. Hurry, anger. Send word to the students of Baldazin. Tell them to scour the archives, the forbidden tombs in particular. If there is any reference to an ancient robe in white, however oblique, I would not know of it. An ancient, my lady? Was that what gave you cause to cry out? I did but moments ago glimpse a figure clad in white set forth from the waking sands, yet ancients are wont to employ teleportation magics. Why would one be so brazen? I know not and care not. Find him, Elowen. Turn every stone in Vesper Bay if you have to. Pray attend me, Satoru. Where does she want me to look for this man exactly? Like, I don't know. Like, where does she want me to look for this man? Like, I am magic? If after all these years you'd like for me to go over everything. Oh, he's right here. I've done much healing. Hello. I am told that you are the warrior of light, but I would know for myself. I walk north and you may choose to follow. Know, however, you will be waylaid if you do. You may even perish. Should you survive, we shall speak Anon. What's the difference between us and a million miles? They're all like so far apart. That you will. It's no secret that the both of us. Everything that I've done. I've been playing mostly Black Mage. I haven't really like done anything else really. I played a little bit of Pugilist, but nothing else really. Oh my god. Yeah. So I'm not sure, but I really want to get into Astro or Picto really bad. I think those are like the ones I want to get into because I watched somebody play them and I was like, ooh, that looks really, really, really cool. Astro is legit hard, really? Yeah, I really want to try it though. I don't know, it looks cool. Oh, it died. I love Astro as a healer. Oh my god, there's 2 of them! What? Oh, you're tracking 9 things at once? Like you play Astro? I don't know, I feel like I'd like it. Six cards, a dot, and a healing party. I don't know. I feel I really want to try it. I just want to try it. I don't know if I would like it, but I do like, I usually play healers in like games, so I'm definitely very excited to try healer. Think about as you late nights in the middle of June. Always been faking me out. Can't make you happier now. Sometimes all I think about is you. You stupid toad. No! Don't touch me. Oh my god. Sometimes all I think about is you. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Okay, you know what? That's perfect timing because I do need to run and feed my dogs and stuff. So I am going to raid out. But it was awesome meeting you guys. That's perfect timing because I looked at the time and I was like, oh shit, it's already 7. I have to go do all my morning chores, I guess. My morning chores. Sometimes all I think about is you. Okay, let's see. Who can we raid into? Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. My God, it's hard to find somebody that is English. Let's see. Maybe this person? I'm gonna open them up. It's literally not easy trying to find somebody. It's never easy. I don't know why. We could go here too. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Okay, we're gonna go here. The Tony. The Tony. Okay. I'm gonna put my raid messages in chat. The first one is for followers. The second one is for subscribers. Again, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll be live tomorrow again, playing the same thing, at the same time, most likely. And I will, yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.